What's up guys, this is Ronnie. Welcome back to our channel Total Technology. This is tutorial 41 and today we'll be going to talk about one of the very useful use case, that is user input, and I'll do it in the form of exercise. So as I told you in our last tutorial that from the next tutorial onwards we'll be going to start some advanced and intermediate topics, but I think before we start the normal tutorial series again, so it is the right time to do some sort of exercise. So probably I'll be going to do 4 or 5 different exercises with some very common and easy use cases, and mostly I'll be going to cover the topics which we already discussed in our previous sessions. For example, this is going to be variable, this is going to be like some data types, like not simple data type and composite data type. Then we'll be going to talk about do some exercise on loops, and then we'll be going to talk about and do some exercises on structure, enum, and match operator, something this sort of things. Okay, so just focus on this series. Nothing new we're going to see, but rather these exercises are going to help you to understand how the things are going to work in the actual programming. So this tutorial, this is going to be very easy tutorial, so gradually I will increase the complexity. But if you guys have some other use cases or other tutorial like exercise, you can send me. I'll try to include all those things. So first exercise will be on Rust user input. So what I mean by that, so for example, you'll be going to do some sort of input and how to read that input in Rust, and after that how to convert that into integer. For example, whatever you type in Rust, this is actually going to be give you some sort of string, and how to convert that string into integer. So we'll see that now. So how to read user input in Rust. So this is our first use case. So let me open my Visual Studio Code. So let me write that. So how to read user input in Rust. Okay, so first thing, you have to use stdio. This is standard library. Okay, and after that we'll be going to see fn main. Okay, and here we'll be going to ask user to enter some input. Please enter the number. We'll be going to ask to enter some number. So our objective is to convert this into integer. Okay, and after that we'll declare one variable, let mute. We'll be going to ask user to enter some year. Okay, so why I'm doing this thing, I'll be going to relate this thing in the next tutorial, that's why. So year, and this is going to be string and new. Okay, like this. And after that, how to read that. Okay, so this is going to be IO, then std in, and then like this, and we'll be going to read line, and this is going to be here. Okay, just remove this, and here we'll be going to expect. So if there is any error, it should print got error while reading. So until this point we have already successfully read this thing. So what I'll do, I'll just try to print this thing, print ln and year. Okay, what is this? Expected one of these thing, let mute year equals to string. Okay, this thing is there, so let's do this thing. But why this is showing this thing, expected token, expected operator, found unexpected token, rustc. I'm not sure why this is showing an error. Okay, So some semicolon are missed actually. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just try to show you guys how to get the input and how to print that. So let's save this thing here. Okay. Okay, so let me just enter something 2009. Say it is printing 2009. Okay, so now our job is over, like first job is over, like which is how to read and print. So this is one part, but this is actually string, this is not integer. So now we have to convert this string from string to integer. So how to do that? Okay, so that is our main objective. So for doing that, so what I'll do, I'll just declare a function, define a function over here. So convert to integer. So what I'll do, I'll just pass this year input, and as this is going to be like string. Okay, so I'll write string, and I'll be going to pass return actually one integer, so I'll write i32. Okay, so now we'll do this thing now. So how we are going to convert this thing? So let x, we're going to convert this into, sorry, we're going to declare one variable x. Now I'll be going to convert this value into integer and I'll assign this value in x. Okay, so next thing, year input dot trim. Okay, and after that parse. Okay, then i32, you have to just remember the syntax. Okay, and this is going to okay, and we'll be going to return x. So that's it. So if you do like this, this is going to return this thing. Okay, so now I have to call this function here. So what I'll do, I will just print ln. Okay, number is this, and this is going to be convert to int, and we'll be going to pass this. Okay, I'm going to write comma, so hopefully fine. What is this here? Okay, so what is happening here, I'm just passing this thing here. So now one interesting thing will happen, so I'll show you guys what is actually happening here. Okay, so let's run this thing, then we'll explain this thing, what is happening here. So just keep this thing as well here, so we'll be able to understand what is happening. So this and here. Okay, so let's save this thing and run this thing. So I'll explain, but try to guess what is going to happen. Okay, so we are actually declaring one variable here, and after that we are assigning some values from the user input, and after that we are calling that passing that variable from this function, and this function is actually defined here. So what is it is doing here? It is actually converting the string into integer, and after that is returning this value here, and I am just printing it here. I'm just printing it the original variable. Okay, that's it. So let's run this thing. Okay, so this is our trademark error, value borrowed after move. Why this error? See, I declared this variable here. After this thing, I actually call this function with this variable. So now the ownership is lies with this thing. So that is why you should not call this thing. Okay, so I believe this is clear now. So you should not call this thing, but if you want to call this thing, you have to use something. Sorry, this. Okay, ampersand this, we have to call this. What is this? I'm sorry, this is going to be okay. So let's run this thing now. This should work because we are actually not passing the variable directly, or just passing the reference. Okay, so see, it is going to ask me 2009. So number is 2009 is printing here, and the actual variable is actually printing here. Okay, so just to understand that this is not the integer. So what I'll do, I'll just try to multiply this thing with this, and after that I'll just going to multiply this thing with 2. So let's see what is now going to happen. Okay, see, we got the error, cannot multiply integer to string. So obviously now I now we what do you say, establish the fact that whatever you are going to give the input from the keyboard, this is actually treated as string. So that is why you have the requirement to convert this as integer. So this is actually very useful thing. So whenever you are going to do is some sort of user response, so that time definitely you should use this technique. So in this tutorial, what we have learned today, this is going to remain same for all the use cases wherever you are going to deal with some sort of user response or user input. So that is why I'm just picking this tutorial so that this is not only going to give you some sort of knowledge, and also it is going to give you ready for the future. So this tutorial, if you do practice, if you do some sort of try with apply this thing with some sort of other use case, then you are good to go. So you don't have to worry about the user response thing, and you guys will understand that why user response is going to be so much important. So whatever logic or program or application you build, ultimately you have to serve the end user. So end user serving means you have to get the response from the end user, do some sort of apply some sort of logic on that user input, and you have to again output the same thing to the user. So that is why reading the user response is one of the most use case. So if you learn this thing, that is the first step of any learning any programming language. If you know this thing, you can say that I actually know 1% of the language. So I'm just joking, guys. There could be multiple other things in the pipeline, and we'll do in the future videos, but for the time being, this is actually going to be very important use case, and hopefully you guys understood this concept, and we'll try to do some sort of practice. And in between, if you guys are having any problem, difficulties to understand, or if you want me to cover some other topics to understand this tutorial in a more more efficient way, probably I'm not sure whether this approach is not efficient for all of you guys to understand. So you guys can send me the feedback. I'll try to improve our qualities and content as well, but until and unless I'm not getting any feedback from your side, I will think that okay, everything is going nicely. So guys, enough of talking, we'll see you in the next video. But before I end this tutorial, guys, please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, so you should not miss any notification from the next time. Try to share our videos with your family, friend, whoever is relevant if you think, and thank you very much for all the Udemy students for purchasing this course. It is actually helping me a lot on these days. And in case if you guys are facing any difficulties or need any clarification, or if you want me to include any use case in this tutorial series, please write me over Udemy. I'll try to answer all your queries as soon as possible. So once again, have a nice day, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, goodbye, and have a happy learning.